once you're able to choose your struggles, you're able to deal with the struggles that you don't choose easier than you would do. Hello, welcome back to the Evolve podcast with me, Lewis, and Sam. How's it going, Samuel? We do this every week. No, we're not doing this. Sam, what went well this week? What went well? What went well this week?
What went well this week? You know what? My fitness is on form. I'm actually doing really well.
Nice.
Fitness-wise for Thai boxing. I've been going almost every other day now because I feel like I've just replaced my gym routine with Thai boxing. And also because I've got so much to do on my coursework, I'm just procrastinating by going to get my face punched. As you can tell, I'm stammering, so the CUT is setting in early in my Thai boxing career already. We move. No, it's actually quite mad. I think it's just I'm really stressed from work. But what's going well is I am doing a lot better Thai boxing wise. I did my first Royal Rumble, we call it. It's basically a stress test. Have you ever watched?
Is this Shark?
It's like Shark Tank.
Yeah, Shark Tank. But, okay, explain to the listeners what this is.
So Shark Tanking, I don't know if we definitely didn't come up with it. Someone from their old training class came up with it. So when we did Thai boxing at uni, before when people had like interclubs coming up or like a fight coming up, we'll do something called a Shark Tank, which is basically whoever's at training that day queues up to the ring basically, and whoever's meant to be fighting gets in the ring, and your job is basically to do at least like a minute with each person without break. So like as soon as a minute's over, that person's out, fresh person jumps in, and you just keep going until everyone in the class has basically had a chance to fight you. Yeah, and that's called a Shark Tank.
So just to put that in simpler terms, just in case it was confusing, basically Sam would stay in the ring for 5 minutes. Every minute Sam would fight someone new.
Exactly.
So they would do a minute of work, Sam would do 5, and at the end he's seeing dots and wants to throw up. I've done it before, and it's
painful.
I still think about it sometimes.
I got to a point where like I really like Shark Tanks because to be honest, it got to a point when we were at uni I liked it because there was a phase where like all the really good fighters were doing something else with their lives, and I was basically like the okay fighters. So I was there, and then all the newbies were all I had as Shark Tank. So I just look like God to everyone because I just survived like 10 minutes of beating people up, and everyone would be like, oh my God, he's so amazing. In my head I'm like, yes, I am Bruce Lee. You're right, I am pretty good. But no, we did it's different in this one because everyone is either a professional or semi-professional.
Yeah, in our club. Just getting folded.
Yeah, like the least experienced person, I think he's about to have like a amateur pro fight. I forgot what it's called. It's like Am Pro, where basically it's like amateur, but they get the full set of pro rules, so you can do elbows and everything, but he's got pads. That's going to be his next fight. The next level down from that being experienced is how old is Braden? Braden's like 15 or something. He's 15, but this guy fights full pro for his age. Like he goes to Thailand and just beats up other Thai kids his age, but he causes damage. It's scary. So they were like the two least experienced people I had to go against, and then everyone else is basically had a pro fight. And I got to do a Shark Tank, and it wasn't easy. Like they're trying to take my head off.
That sounds horrible.
And well, I didn't know because I didn't know that was the plan. I remember before that session, Lee, the coach, was like, "Oh, it's Royal Rumble tomorrow, lads." And I was just like, "Oh, that sounds exciting." And then I was like, "What's Royal Rumble?" And then the guy, one of the teammates, explained it. I was like, "Oh, it's Shark Tank." But because I haven't got a fight coming up anytime soon, I looked at the guy like Martin who has a fight like September, and I was just like, oh, obviously that means you're going to get Shark Tank because it's like it's enough time for you to do it, get hurt, but then still heal up for your fight. And then he was like, yeah. Turned out everyone was in on it but me, and everyone was in on it but me. So I turned up to training, and like we did a lot of like fitness stuff. I've hurt my shins from like kicking tires, so I didn't do like skipping or anything. I did some other stuff, but anyway, I was knackered. I did loads of like fitness push-ups at the start of training, like sit-ups and everything. Whilst everyone's just skipping, I'm doing loads of HIIT workouts to make up for the fact that I'm not skipping with them. And me being me, I'm like, well, I used to gym loads before this, so I went in on the warm-up and burnt myself out. Then I had to do basically a round of sparring with everyone, normal, so like 3 minutes in, 1 minute out, and you swap to a new partner, everything else. So everyone's kind of knackered because everyone's been fighting. And then it came to the end, and then Lee, the coach, was like, right, Sam, get in the ring, get your kit on, but I wasn't allowed to use elbows. And we've come to find I'm actually a really good full Thai fighter. I'm not good without elbows. I'm better if I'm allowed to use my elbows. But this session, I wasn't allowed to use elbows. So it's like basically kickboxing with that. Can you do elbows kickboxing? Probably not. Oh, no. No. So it's basically I did kickboxing and everyone else was basically having the time of their lives. I got in the ring and I was like, okay, maybe I'm going first in this Royal Rumble. And I get to like, whoever gets in here is going to be like the victim. And then the coaches basically spelled it out of like, George, other Sam, who like, George is like full pro. Like, imagine UFC for Thai boxing. Like, imagine one championship. He's going to be fighting them lot soon. Like, that's George. And then he's like, George. And I was like, oh, is George going in the Royal Rumble then? We're starting with George. Okay, like, George will beat us all up. But like, fuck it, let's go. And he's like, George and Sam, you're paired up together. And I'm like, oh, then who am I paired up with? So I'm just, the whole time I'm oblivious to what's happening. I do not think I'm the victim of this Royal Rumble. I'm just there like, oh, okay, George and Sam are paired up. And there's only 5 of us in today's session. So like, who is pairing up with who? Is Brian going to be the victim? He's quite young to be getting beasted by all of us. And Lee goes, all right, Brian and Martin, you two pair up. Now, at that point, it slowly was starting to set in like, I don't have a partner. I am today's victim. And the coach is like, right, 5 rounds. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, 5 1-minute rounds? Like, that can be fun. Like, he'd be nice to me. And he was like, 5 rounds. He's like, George, Sam, you are 1.5 minutes each. So it's a 3-minute round. They jump out, 1 minute break. Sam and, Martin and Brian, 1.5 minutes. And then he was like, we're going to do 5 rounds of that. And we're going to keep rotating. Every round, a new pair going. So basically, the pro fighters were not just getting 1 minute of rest. These Donnies are getting like 3-4 minutes of rest straight up, just chilling. I'm the idiot in the fucking ring the whole way through, getting beasted. It got to a point, Lewis, where I was just counting my rounds in half. Like, I was just holding myself. And it turned out the challenge was, long story short, the challenge was basically, it wasn't for me to win. Because there's no way I was winning against that many. I just wasn't.
Survive.
It was basically like, the challenge was to not quit. That's the whole training. And like, I explained it to Sarah, and she's like, you've joined a cult. You need to understand you've joined a cult. And I was just like, no, like, it's training. And she was just like, Sam, like, say it to you, repeat everything to yourself again, and then tell me that was not an initiation program into a cult.
That does scream.
It screams gang mentality.
Fight club stuff.
Yeah, it's
like, how,
blood in, blood out.
Yeah, like do you remember seeing? Do you remember the film Wanted, where they curve bullets and stuff?
Yeah,
when they absolutely fold James McAvoy for about 10 minutes on the screen. Ask James, what do you want? And then it's like, I want to find out who I am. And this guy loses teeth in the process.
Right.
This is a very, very, very dulled down version of what you went through. But I was like, you just got sent in to get beat up, basically.
Do you know what the maddest thing was? One of them realized, because I bruised my left rib from like 2 training sessions back, and it was like a poker face session. So we'll do sessions where like you get hit hard, but you have to like you have to act cool about it. It's a really hard session, but the focus is like trying to stay calm, composed, and all that. And in that one of those sessions, I bruised my rib because I got kneed by one guy in that rib. Then I got punched by 2 other people, and it just kept happening. And I think as soon as people realized that I kept trying to protect that area, they were like, gang, that's what we're going for. So Sam, bro, one of the guys midway through, Sam realised that, and all he threw was body shots to that side. He was either kicking me on that side or punching me, and then I'm blocking it, and as soon as I block it, headshot. Every time I'm like, that is like, bang, he's just like, tension abs. I'm like, I'm trying. There are no muscles on that side of the body to protect me. It's like, all I have is a floating rib, and you keep hitting it. And I just kept going, but I was proud of myself, and one of the best parts about it was, everyone just seemed so proud of me, but I was so pissed off with myself because I was tired. By like round 1 and 2, I actually did okay. Like, I was just I got hit and I was handing it back like, fuck you. I'm just like kicking people back. I'm hurting them back. 3, 4, and 5, that was like survival. I just had to like breathe and stand up straight. That was it. And like every break, I'm just like hanging on the ring, just like counting the clock back, doing deep breaths. But yeah, I was really happy, that everyone was proud of me, but I was disappointed in myself because I felt like I could have just done much better. And Lee, Martin, everyone was just like, mate, we really thought you would have given up after round 2. To be honest, we thought that was it.
And also, bear in mind, Sam, you aren't doing this. You've only just got back into this.
Yeah, true.
As well, like for uni Sam would have this result would have been the same.
No, you're right. No, you're
actually
right.
It actually would have been the same.
It would have been the same. Like, no, you're right.
I've seen you Shark Tank before.
Yeah,
and I've seen you at that point, and
it's peak.
You're doing this like peak. With 30 kg more on you, minimum. So it's like
I am losing the weight.
Fine.
That's another thing. Probably shouldn't be super proud about losing weight. I don't want to encourage bad habits in others, but I am losing the weight. So I'm currently, at some point, I think I was up all the way up to 114. I'm now like comfortably 109. My goal is to get to around 90, 85 this time next year. So I'm going to look a bit weedier. I'm going to look a bit skinnier. But I'm already loving the fact that I can stand up and not make dad noises.
Oh, bro, that's a real thing. That's my proudest moment. Yeah, try the hip flexors, man. That's the best advice.
The best thing. Like, I stand up, I'm just like, oh, that felt too easy.
Yeah.
And like Sarah did this challenge where I don't know how to describe it. You have to like sit on the floor, and how did she do it? It's like someone basically. You have to sit on the floor, and then you have to put your feet all the way up. So this is your feet, this is my feet. I bend my knee, I put my feet all the way up to yours, and I have to like stand up straight.
That sounds horrible.
She just did it, and I was just looking at her like, this bitch, like your gym membership expired last year. What the fuck are you doing? Like, how dare you? How dare you?
No.
And then she just did it, and I was like, well, I can do it. And Lewis, I'm not gonna lie, I got as far as bending my knee, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
like the dad, I could preempt the dad noises before I even tried, and I was like, she's already got the ick when I did this. I'm not gonna do the rest, fall, and then end our relationship tonight. So I was like, no, like it's just not happening. It's just not happening. So yeah, apart from that,
nice. That's good, man.
Yeah, the week has been okay. I've been doing a lot of difficult things I don't want to do, but I'm enjoying it. How about you?
Nice. You know what? It's been good. Yeah, been a weird week. I've worked from home this week because boss is away, and also everyone in London, riots and that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to milk this and work from home. I handed in the first draft for the short film I'm working on. So I've been taking it easy this week because that was all I was obsessing over it. So I'm glad that's done. Well, it's not done yet, just like 50%. It's probably like 70% done. So yeah, waiting for feedback on that, and in terms of like what changes and the producer and directors want to make, and then I'll have like another week on it, and I'll finish that up. Gym's been going really well. So Rosie and I have been going to the gym in the mornings, which has been great. I also started been focusing on my nutrition, so I started my Summit Eats this week, which has been great. So that's like meal prep.
How is it?
Nice. It's actually very good. Okay. It's actually very nice, and it's made by people with melanin, so you know that the seasoning's good.
Yeah, it's not like that's not like Huel, is it? It's not like Huel.
So Huel, funny that you're wearing that because that's a t-shirt I got there. Call you out. So I know. But I started their super greens. Which it's like a blend of like 91 like vitamins, nutrition, stuff like that. I thought I'd give it a try. It actually tastes quite nice. I know you could get most of that stuff. You just blend like loads of like dark green leaves and stuff, but it's just making sure that I get that stuff in. So I'm not saying that's a replacement for eating green shit. It's just ensuring that I get that stuff in, and I just I'll have that with breakfast. So I'll usually have pre-workout, go gym, have my breakfast, which is like eggs, avocado, and then I'll have that. And I've lost weight already. I think I've lost like at least 1.5 kilos in the past week and a bit, because I haven't been drinking nowhere near as often.
Alcohol, you mean, not just avoiding all forms of fluid.
Alcohol. Like there will be a few things like events wise, but like overall, like social drinks and like just drinking like midweek. I don't really do that anyway, but I have quite a sweet tooth, so I've been like replacing like sweet stuff with like protein, like protein chocolate or whatever, and like I'm tracking that. So yeah, man, it feels good. I need to sort out my sleep. I need to make sure I get a consistent sleep, and I'm at least getting 7. Because when I get 7, and when I get 8, I'm a different man. I'm a happier man. But I know there's still a lot of stuff going on, but I know that's an excuse because I know that if I actually look at those hours between 10 and 12, I'm usually like saying, oh, well, I've done all my work and now I want to relax. And then that leads to like 1 a.m. So that's one thing I've been sorting. But no, I'm enjoying the gym. I went to the gym with my mate DJ over the weekend. I got a deadlift PB, which is great.
What it is?
So that's been good.
What is it?
I know you're gonna be like, what is it? Well, before it was 120.
What are you? Sorry.
It was 120. It was 120 a few years ago. I did 150 at the weekend, and I thought
Right.
I'm gonna stop there.
Decent, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't know I could do that. Because bear in mind, we went to 120, and I was like, no, there's no way I can lift that. And he's a PT, because he's like changing his careers. And he was like, you're in your own head. You just lifted this up with ease like 5 minutes ago. You can definitely do this. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's basically what I've realized is that I just need these there to just make sure my form is actually decent. Because when my form's shit, I'm just going to break my lower back. Like I've lifted like 60, 70 and I've fucked up my disc and not be able to go to the gym for 3 days. But I know this is when I was like a newbie to the gym, and not newbie to the gym, but specifically deadlifting. Yeah. So when his dad, he's actually like, he's like, nope, do this. And I'm like,
going to be so upset.
This feels fine.
When you're like, if you're like massive and muscly and I'm like a skinny Thai boxer, it's actually going to upset me. I think it's going to fuck with my ego.
I'm not aiming to. I want to be like lean and not like.
How much do you weigh now?
I weigh 90.
This is turning into like a Gym Bros episode.
Yeah, I know. So I know. I'm wearing a fuel. I'm wearing a fuel already. I know.
Talking about gymming.
I'm just going to wear Gymshark. I'm just going to wear Gymshark at the moment. I'm wearing 94 at the moment. My body's really weird because I won't. I'll look like I've lost weight.
Yeah.
For weeks. The scale won't say anything. And then all of a sudden it'll be 5 kg less. This is what happened with the marathon. So for the marathon I weighed 90. But again, it was saying like 93, 94, like the whole time. And then 2 weeks before the marathon, it just, the scale's different. I feel better now. I just because I actually enjoy going to the gym and I spend less time working out. Whereas when it was marathon training, I was probably spending 7-8 hours of the week exercising. Whereas now I'm doing 4 gym sessions, 4 to 5, and then like a swim, and it's actually stuff I enjoy doing.
That's decent.
So because life's punishing me enough as it is, so it's it's like maybe I should actually do stuff I like working out wise, because otherwise we're just gonna hate working out and then not want to do it, which is what was starting to happen, which is why I'm not doing the grain loss run, as I said. But I'm still doing a 10k at the end of the month. I'm gonna go for a run tomorrow. And swim tomorrow. So yeah, I'm enjoying the active lifestyle. Going to the gym with Rosie's been really fun as well, because I know something that she's been, obviously she works out a lot, but I think the gym she sometimes gets like uncomfortable. People will like stare and stuff like that. And that's for women, it's a different experience,
especially
So we'll go to the gym together now, and it keeps us both accountable. Yeah. So we'll get up at 6:30 to get in the gym at 6:45. So she's ensuring that my sleep is actually good, because she's like, it's 10 o'clock, you need to go to bed. I'm like, okay, fair. So overall, man, it's been good. I mean, I'm going to try and not dwell on work, because it just is what it is, and I'm just going to deal with it. I've hit past that point where, well, I'm not hit past that point. I'm in that phase at the moment where it's like, I'm just going to see what happens, man. And I'm not going to try and push and change too much, because all it's going to do is just piss me off. So I'm in that neutral survival state and evaluating my options. I'm not getting overexcited by anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to see what happens, let results speak for itself, and just keep looking after myself, importantly. One thing which Rosie and I did, which is great as well, is that we're going to move in beginning of next year. So we're getting very excited.
Just thinking that, just
about that. So there's a loft apartment buildings like near us that that are always like doing viewings. So we just went and viewed like flats there the other day. Not for January next year, but just showed like examples. So it's got us very excited about moving in together. So I got rid of a ton of clothes because I was like, okay, I'm not going to wear this. I am wearing it.
Yeah.
I'm giving quite a few things away to my dad. I was like, these shoes, I don't wear them. I might as well just give them away.
Moving into like next year though, like
I know, but it was just an excuse of being like, oh, let me just see what I actually
whilst you're all excited,
utilize whilst I'm gassed. So that's like the next.
That's cute.
It's a good focus at the moment. So probably in November. To be honest, we're probably gonna stay near where I am now, or exactly the same like neighborhood. So we're probably gonna get that sorted like November. But I'm just having that to look forward to in the middle of all the craziness that is life. So yeah, man, no, it's good. I'm feeling a lot better than I have done in the past few weeks, which is great. I have a brand new sense of optimism, I would say. Or I'm just less negative. I don't know, maybe it's because I've been doing like the short film and stuff, but no, I'm feeling good at the moment. I think getting away from the office for the past week and a bit as well has been quite good. So yeah, man, we're just gonna is what it is.
Just enjoying life. No, I hear that. We've been doing a lot of tough things that we don't really enjoy doing. I think it was Sarah calls it eating your frog or something like that. I don't know where she gets that terminology. She got it from some like managing thing she does. She's like, is it swallowing your frog or eating your frog? It's basically doing something you really don't want to do.
Eat the frog. Eat
the frog, yeah. Do that first. Just get out of the way. Just eat the frog.
Yeah.
And that's what she was always telling me. Because
let me go into the office. Let me.
Yeah. We need to get you a green screen so we can do the whole animation properly.
Eating the frog means just do it. Otherwise, the frog will eat you, meaning they will end up procrastinating for the whole day. Once that task is done, the rest of the day will be an easier ride, and you will get both momentum and a sense of accomplishment at the beginning of your day. I don't know where the quote comes from, but
I don't. But it comes from Sarah. Sarah 2023. Eat your frog. I think after this session, because we're going to be talking about doing that and just doing the hard stuff, I'm hoping I'll be motivated enough to just do some very important coursework. I was meant to be presenting like what I've done this month to my supervisors tomorrow morning, and I've done nothing. So I'm going to move the meeting. But I need to actually... but it's because I've been doing silly hours at work, and admittedly, I think I would love to say, because I'm doing Thai boxing every other night, it's an excuse, but last night I didn't do Thai boxing, and I think I just slept, to be honest. Today I've not got Thai boxing, and I need to take that excuse away. I told my coach that I was going to do coursework tonight, and it feels almost silly that I'm not doing it, but there's this part of my brain that's just like, no, like why start? Like, no, you don't need to do it. And I don't know why. It's probably because I need to do my analysis all over again. So I've done it once, and I need to do it 3 more times, but with like a slightly different process each time, because I need to test for robustness. And I just can't be asked because it took so long to do it the first time. But the only reason it took so long to do it the first time is because I just dragged it out. Like I did a little bit every day for like 2 weeks, and then I realized that if I just sat down and just did it all in one go, it probably would have taken me like 4 hours, but I would have done it all in the 4 hours. And now I've done it all the first time. It's easier to do it like 3 more times. I can't be asked, to be honest, dude. I just can't.
What I tend to do when I know I have this thing to do, focus on the next step. Like, what is the number one step that you have to do, as opposed to thinking about the whole thing. Yeah. So you break it down, as opposed to getting. The reason why you can't be asked is because you're avoiding the discomfort. Like, what's the discomfort that you're avoiding? And that's probably the thing that you need to do first.
Yeah.
And I know that you're holding back laughter because you know it's true.
Oh no, you're 100%. Do you know what the worst part is? It takes me back to like final year mental breakdown. Sam of like, I was just so defeated and so tired. I'd rather go out and party than actually like, well, not even go out and party. I'll literally sit in my room and stare.
It's true. It's like, you know, when you have
to do the work.
Yeah, it's like, I remember having like a lot of people used to do this. It's like when you have so much work, you just go for a nap.
Yeah, you just, literally just Like, I would rather keep sleeping than
it's
deal with
because
this.
it's because it's exhausting, and you exhaust yourself by overthinking it. So just do the next thing that you need to do, because that's the thing that you're avoiding. Right. And it's probably the most difficult part. And then you get into a flow state. What I tend to do as well is that I set a timer for 5 minutes, and I go, okay, I'm just going to try and do the thing for 5 minutes, and just to move the needle a little bit. By the time 5 minutes comes around, I like, oh, right, I'm in the middle of it now. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, that's
so as opposed to the Pomodoro timer, which is 25 minutes, do 5 minutes and see how you get on. Then add the 20. If you get to 5 minutes and you're like, I still can't be fucked, don't do it. I think.
Just give up. Just
give up.
I don't need a PhD anyway. I don't need a PhD anyway. Like, oh my God. But yeah, what else happened? I had a really nice barbecue, some friends. Sarah's got her criminology course mates who I've now become friends with as well, because I sleep with Sarah. So now they're my friends.
I sleep with Sarah. You are engaged, Sam.
I'm engaged.
You are engaged to be married.
Let's be honest. Most of like our core friendships we basically get after a relationship, or most of the core friends we make
as a result of
as a couple. Yeah, it's basically because you're
such a wordsmith, Sam.
It is though. Let's be honest. Like, if you just happen to be friends with your significant other, you wouldn't be sharing friendship groups like this. Like, the only reason that happens is because it's happening. So no, but I do love them. They are hilarious people. I do love them, and I've made some really good friends in that group as well. So we had like a barbecue, we chilled, and it was really good to just like forget about everything and just like talk about life. And eventually everyone asks you like what you do for a living and all that, and it brings you back to the fact that you've got to go to work on Monday. But apart
you're like, yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, it's like great, freaking great. And yeah, a lot of people seem fascinated in my job at Experian, which I was just like, it's just data. But everyone just thinks I work in like, everyone thinks I go to work in like a black hood, and basically like everyone gathers around a cauldron, and then we sing hymns to the devil god, and then throw your data in there.
Yeah,
and then we go into a dark room and basically plot the end of the world. I think that's what people just assume I do.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of like security, and there's a lot of things I can and can't talk about in most days, but that's because it's like data and security and that stuff, and also some
okay, Sam. Yeah,
and some goats
hot on the front
as well. Yeah. The overlords are watching this. But no, that was really good, relaxing. But I think the main thing is, in my head, I could have also been doing coursework, and I threw away another weekend, another opportunity to make progress on it.
Yeah, you need to learn how to switch off, for sure.
It's right.
And I know you've got this lecture from Sarah, and the thing is, it's like, to be honest, it's a common trait with entrepreneurs like yourself.
Yeah.
My brother never switches off, and it takes a lot of work for him to switch off, because you're always thinking about the opportunity cost of what you could have done with that time.
Exactly. In my head, I'm like, I could be doing this.
But at the same time, this is why I have the calendar with Rosie, because if she's we're busy this weekend, it lets me organize my week. Mm-hmm. So if she's like, oh, let's just we're not like, oh, let's just go and spend a whole day doing this. I'm like, well, no, because I've had this whole day planned, or to do X, Y, and Z. So that's why it's like Thursdays. I said to her, like, do not do anything on Thursdays. That is podcast day, unless it's something really, really important, whatever. Thursdays, assume I'm going to be busy. So if we want to do anything, any coupley stuff, it's not going to be on a Thursday. So that's the expectation that I set going forward. And then it doesn't become a case of, oh my God, we never do anything together. It's like, no, you have your parameters, work with it. But my weekends are usually pretty open anyway, so that if there's something in the calendar, I'm like, cool, I'm busy that day, fine. So then it doesn't stress me out. So, and that allows me to be present, because I would work around what my obligations are. These are things I want to do anyway, but it just allows me to relax.
I think my problem is planning what I'm going to do these days. I get so stressed about, and breaking them out, because when I start planning, I then start thinking, okay, I can fix the whole world in one day. Like if I do, because I don't do the plan as in like, this is what I know I can do in half an hour. So these are like the chunks I'm going to spend into half an hour. I'll do the plan as like, okay, these are all the things that are really important that I need to fix. And then I create a massive list. And then my focus becomes like, complete this whole list.
Right.
In the time. But then it's never doable at all. But then I always convince myself that it is, because in my head, whilst I'm writing the list, I think of the process of doing it. And it always seems like light work in my head. And then it comes to doing it, and then I just hit loads of speed bumps. And I get stuff.
I saw this clip before. I know you've definitely seen it. It would have been on the short. Basically saying, when you have a list of things to do, create a list of things to do from most important to least important.
Yeah.
You might have 20 things on that list. Out of that 20, pick the top 3. Then out of the top 3, do the first one. And then work down that list. So, because your list of, you'll see this as a, oh my God, I have 50 things on this list that I've already done one. Whereas actually, you've prioritized what's actually the most important. And then if you get to do one thing on that list, great. And then you've ticked off 1 out of 3. Or you've done like the most important thing that you needed to do that day. And it's moving the needle. And the thing is, right, we've talked about this 1% improvement every day. You want to do 110% every single day.
I can't help it.
You can't.
We talked
No.
We talked about this mindset I have of like, when I get stressed, I double down.
Yeah.
And it's almost like nothing I can do will ever be enough to fill that void I basically feel I create for myself, other than just keep burning and then eventually I get burned down. And we're back and then I get burned down. I go through the trough, and then I go through like a whole like reimagination of myself. I'm a newborn Sam, and everything's amazing. And you know what, Lewis? I have a great mindset, and then it's the same fucking roller coaster ride every time. I hit the bottom. On the way up, I'm like, this is my mindset. I'm gonna ignore people. Like they can all just do whatever they want. Like I'm gonna do me. And then I get to the top, and then everyone loves me, and they're like, hey Sam, do this, do that. And I'm like, yeah, and then like back to the bottom again. It's just been like that for a while now. And now I know it. It's more frustrating because I know it's going to happen again.
Okay, but Sam, this podcast is literally called Evolve. You are capable of change. You can change this. You can change this behavior.
No,
if
this
you
is
want
the life cycle.
You can.
Sam.
You're like, nope. You're in a fixed mindset right now.
This is nature now. This is it. This is it. I'm at the top and bottom of my own food pyramid. This is my life now. This is it.
Okay. Well, we're going to pivot into today's topic, which is what I'm very excited about. So yeah, as you can see by the episode title, I don't even know what it's going to be yet, but it will say something like doing hard things. Stay hard. Be hard. No, this is basically doing the hard things particularly when you don't feel like doing those things. Yeah. And I'm excited about this topic, dear listener, because when Sam and I spoke about starting the podcast,
let me
this is one of the things that I really wanted to talk about because it blew my mind. So I've mentioned Andrew Huberman and Huberman Lab, and he has a great episode with David Goggins, which is like 3 hours long, but it's actually really long. Sam, you probably won't listen to that. But it's fine. Listeners
didn't know. But I've seen clips of it, but I didn't listen to it.
But basically, I learned something. And basically, there's he's a neurological science dude. I don't know what it's. Yeah, science.
I was listening to his pod this morning.
Actually, there is a hub in your brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. We're going to call it AMCC, right? And this hub is responsible for generating tenacity and resilience. And this part of your brain grows when you do things that you don't want to do. And what they have found about the AMCC is that it's smaller in obese people and it gets bigger when they diet. It's larger in athletes, and it's particularly large in people when they feel challenged or they're overcoming challenges. And people who live longer, it retains its size, and it's basically one of the seats of willpower. And
what do you mean seats of willpower? Is there like
so it's like one of the things that's responsible for like, oh, do you want to do this thing that's difficult? Because when you do hard things, this part of the brain grows. So say that you go for a run because you hate running. Yeah. When you don't want to do that run, still part of the brain will grow. However, this part of the brain can also shrink. So say you go for the run for the next day because you want to and you really like it, it will retain its size or actually, in fact, shrink. So this is the really interesting part about the AMCC, is that you need to be continuing pushing yourself. And if you're like, oh, well, why?
Am I trying to make it bigger or am I trying to make it smaller?
Bigger.
But you said it shrinks when I do more running.
Right. So, no, but I'm saying, so if you enjoy, the key aspect of it is if you enjoy it. If you go and you went for a run and you didn't want to do it, but you did it anyway, this part of the brain will grow. If you go for it the next day when you felt like it, really, really enjoy it. Well, I would say next day, say if it was like 2 days later, you're like, really enjoying this run. Even though it was a hard run and you really enjoyed it, this part of the brain will either retain its size or shrink, because it only response is to you doing the thing that you're trying to resist doing.
So David Goggins basically has the craziest...
His whole brain...
But he enjoys being that. So does that mean it's...
No, he said, well, allegedly he hates, I don't know, we can't really measure it. But what is
mad?
It's really interesting because...
It's the most bipolar part of a person's brain I can think of.
Yeah, because because like, for example, I'm saying that I'm going to the gym and I was like, really enjoying the gym and like, but I enjoy it. So I'm not actually growing this part of my brain. But I would be if it's like, I want to go to the gym, but it's 6:45 right now and I want to stay in bed, cuddle up with Rosie. But then I need to go protein workout. It will retain its size or grow. And for the listeners who are confused, like, but why is pushing yourself important? Like, why can't I just do things I enjoy? Well, I've heard this phrase a long time ago, and I think it's true. And I think it was probably in Mark Manson's book. You basically need, life is a struggle, right? It is a struggle. That is guaranteed. It's down to you to choose your struggle. Because if you don't, life's going to give you one anyway. And when you choose to do things that are hard, particularly when you go through periods of shit, or, even if it's like, this part of your brain even grows if you want to eat a pizza but instead eat a salad, it will still grow because you're resisting the easier path, right? Which is the path you probably shouldn't be taking.
Yeah.
It really is fascinating to me. But once you're able to choose your struggles, you're able to deal with the struggles that you don't choose easier than you would do. It's why when you go through shit experiences at work and it continuously happens, you're able to adapt. You're able to deal with it a lot quicker because you have dealt with those setbacks. This is why you're like, how do you set back so many times? It's because I've had a lot of them. And when you see people that do this part of the brain, the willpower, is low because it hasn't been tested. So this is why doing hard things, it could be even stuff like, can't be asked to make my bed. Make your bed. Keep doing things that you don't want to do. It's not running a marathon. It's not, I'm going to do 300 sit-ups before bed. It's not even an ice bath. Those things do apply, but it can apply to really, really small things.
I'm liking ice baths now, so does that mean I'm shrinking it?
Well, think about it like progressive overload. Say you're you got to keep
pushing that limit.
Exactly.
Then,
right. So if it's like, I'm not going to go for a PB today. If you try hit that new PB today, that is going to put you in that that zone of discomfort, right? Which is basically what the AMCC helps that retain its size. But what I found really interesting is that it's particularly retains its size or is larger in people who live a long time. So they actually think that this is linked to the will to actually live.
Oh.
Which is even more interesting.
Is that why? Because my dad always said, the reason why he works, even though he's on his pension, the reason why he always has something to do is because as soon as he stops, he thinks he will die quicker.
Oh, no, Sam, that's...
He's literally... And he was saying about all his mates that have died. He was like, as soon as they all stop working, they all, died a few years later.
Yeah, as soon as they retire, as soon as they retire, they get ill.
But I want to retire by 40.
But okay, right, Sam, there's a difference between retirement. You're retiring from working for people.
Yeah,
that's the difference, right? Because you're still continuing to invest and help it, and you're choosing your work. You're choosing your struggle. Then you're retiring from the struggle
side quest
life is giving you. Yeah, Snoop Dogg side quest.
Snoop Dogg life,
as you'd say, right?
Yeah.
So, because it's not like, because people will retire and be like, I have no idea what to do now because my entire life has been, doing X, Y, and Z for whatever years, and you don't know what you want to do now because you don't have all this free time. We will fill that time. You particularly, your ADHD will flourish.
Yeah.
You'll find the maddest things to do. Like, you'll become like a cat whisperer or something. Like, I don't know. You'll do mad
am
shit.
one now.
Right? But this is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I really wanted to talk about this because this blew my mind when I was talking about it. And I was talking to anybody who would listen about this because I was like, this is mad. Like, because I didn't actually know. I was like, oh, doing hard shit, it's like, oh, yeah, it's like good for you. But no, I didn't actually understand the science behind it.
Does it, in your learnings of this, does it work back on itself in terms of, does it make you better at doing hard things, or is it just a side effect of doing hard things? Like, other than it being a sign of people living, it seems like this brain bit that gets bigger, it's only a sign that someone is willing to do something. It doesn't seem to have that reciprocal turnaround of having impact on you. It's just a symptom of behavior, a habit.
I think it's the brain's very complex.
Better at doing hard things than because of that.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Because if you continue doing hard things, I mean, you will naturally anyway.
That's what I thought.
Regardless of it getting bigger or not, the more you continuously to do hard things, like say for instance, like do 10 push-ups, right?
Yeah.
Do 10 push-ups one day, you will get better at doing 10 push-ups. And then say for using this metaphor, right? You do 10 push-ups, it's going to be easier and easier gradually to get to 10. Once 10 becomes easy, you might as well do more. And then you hit that new threshold. Maybe it's 20 push-ups. And okay, now you're finding it hard again. And that's essentially how the MCC works. And I think it's basically, consider it like your threshold, right? And you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Like the amount, right, Sam, have you ever had that point of work? It's a hypothetical question because I know it's true, where you're like, I couldn't possibly deal with more shit than I currently am.
Oh yeah.
And then you find a new, then that more shit happens, and then you deal with that. You're like, there's no way I can deal with more shit. Then it happens again, and that's that part of your brain growing.
Yeah,
because you're dealing with that shit. Because if you couldn't deal with that shit, you'd snap and you'd burn out. And what happens with there's
shit, I'm learning.
I'm gonna go into the office because I learned this a minute ago.
I'll do background music.
So
he's gonna edit it out. It's like, fuck you.
So there's basically when you have a heavy dose of discomfort, there's this body alarm system called the amygdala. And it's like your body's alarm. It's like when you respond to stress and that your body basically wants to shut down, your heart.
It's like your fight or flight response, basically. The reptilian part of you, right? Yeah.
And with people who have a larger AMCC than others, the impact of the amygdala flight or flight response on you significantly goes down to like their normal rate of where they were before. So that's what I wanted to get across. So it does make you better at dealing with discomfort because it responds. It sounds like it helps deal with high levels of discomfort easier.
Like it will play a part in dealing with like anxiety. This is now making sense. I'm now going to do bro science. You ready? I'm about to do bro science. So you know how they say exercise will help you improve your mental health, reduces anxiety and everything.
Yeah.
Things like anxiety, your stress moments are all kind of based around your natural fight or flight response to situations. Like being anxious is essentially a fear signal that your brain fires off for like sometimes the most irrational things ever. And it seems like this part of your brain, if it helps you tame your fight or flight response, it might explain why things like exercise make people better at dealing with anxious situations. Yeah, bro science.
I see. Okay, right. So summarize that again.
Basically, exercising, being fit and healthy, improves your mental health. That's the saying. It helps you. It helps you reduce your anxiety levels and everything.
Yeah,
and you're saying this part of your brain that when it gets better, it helps you control your fight or flight response. Fight or flight is basically the crux of being anxious, right? Because anxiety is a fear. It's basically like how your body,
Yeah,
your
so
body
the amygdala actually fear is the main emotion that the amygdala is known to control. So it's important to survival as well. So in essence, that is correct. I always do
spider web.
Like I do say, just do your own research. This is of limited research that someone I discussed. There are a lot of people who are smarter and better and have studied their entire lives.
I'm not doing any more research. It's as far as I go. I'm going to take this straight to the Facebook comments. I want my way.
But yeah, in terms of like, I wanted to get scientific with it because I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, if you just work hard and do things that are hard, you become better at doing things that are hard, and then you become me. I didn't want it to be generic TikTok sounds with like, dong, you need to work really hard and like do all that sort of shit. And I actually wanted to be like, right now, guys, there's actually evidence that doing this shit is important. And you know, I know we talked about exercise in a previous episode, but you know that is a very good starting point of dealing with shit. And if that's something that is uncomfortable for you, it's a great place to start. And it's easier to, when you're dealing with a mental issue, it's definitely easier to start with the physical. And this is something which I know Chris Williamson's spoken about on his podcast before. But because if you're like, oh, really anxious and, you know, I'm out of shape, don't know what to do, like you can't mentally get yourself out of that. Like action definitely leads to motivation as opposed to motivation leading to action. So movement is essential for everything. I learned this myself as well. And, you know, I something I regularly will speak to my mates about if, you know, they're thinking about starting to go to gym or working out or they don't know where to start. And we've had this conversation that I've kind of shown them, like, you know, I used to never like want to work out and stuff like that. I was very much like up and down, up and down, up and down. But I've said this before. If you go to the gym or you work out to look good, it's not a sustainable method because you're not going to see those results and you're going to lose all motivation to go because you're like, well, I'm not getting the results. What's the point? Once you actually realize that exercise is good for you, and once you understand the genuinely the science behind it and how it affects you in your day to day, and you actually document that, it becomes way easier to go because it's more than just having abs.
Did I ever tell you about the time in uni where I went like a month without looking at my body in the mirror? Like intentionally. Like I would come out of the shower and just dry off and leave. I wouldn't like, the only time I'd look at myself is after I've got like some clothes on, and then I'd just look at myself. I did it on purpose just to see if, you know, I don't know, I convinced myself that, you know how like if you don't see someone for a while and then you see them again, they either look like really big, they could tell a significant difference in them, whether they've like been gymming in their hench now. Whereas if you are with them all the time, you can never tell until someone else points it out. So I was like, would that work for myself if I just never look at my chest or my abs or anything like that? I just get dressed for a whole month. Will I look in the mirror, like, still go to the gym and everything, but would I look in the mirror and you'd be like, oh, god damn, like, looking good last month. So I tried it for a month. I just, every time, when I tell these stories, I kind of just look at myself like, you're such a fucking idiot. This is what I did with my time at uni. And it worked. It really did. I remember this period because I remember looking at myself and just being like,
Sam, just take a photo, you moron.
Yeah, but then it just wouldn't hit the same.
You just take a photo and then take 1 month later. And then just...
I hear you, but this just sounded way
You're
more
out here doing this to the mirror. Like a dickhead. What are you doing?
I'll jump out of the shower and be like, the mirror's steamed. Just go before it stops on steaming. Go get dressed and come back.
This man has multiple degrees. I'm just saying.
I know.
Multiple.
PhD.
Wow.
Let me do a PhD. Anyone
you did the equivalent of like, but for a month, you basically just wore a pump cover for a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, I really feel like there's moments where I just feel like I needed siblings to grow up with, like someone just punch me in the face sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I needed that in my life. Like, being an only child has caused me way more harm than good. Because the shit I do to just entertain myself sometimes, I just think, like, I wouldn't.
And you just did this because you were bored. I know you did. You're like,
yeah, I did it. I wonder what would happen if I just did this for a while. Like, it made me feel.
That's quite fun.
That was like entertaining for a day or two afterwards, and then back to normal again.
So I want to ask you a question, Sam.
Go on.
So we've talked about the AMCC. We talked about doing hard things when you don't feel like it. What is keeping you? What is making you do these hard things that you don't want to do? Like, what actually makes you do it?
In my head, when I do stuff like this, I do it to impress myself, because I have like in my head, I'm doing like a Zoom call, and I'm the presenter on the Zoom call and the audience to my own Zoom call. And when I do like these really difficult things, I basically like, it's almost like I'm telling everyone on the Zoom call what I did or what I've achieved. And then I'm basically looking back and be like, oh, wow, that's epic. That's so cool. Like, that's actually so when I do really difficult things, I tell myself the story and I go, oh, wow. But because I always do that, I'm always like trying to one up my imaginary Zoom call self, because I'm also the guy in the audience that's jealous of myself on the Zoom call. I really needed fucking siblings growing up, man. Someone should have saved me from me. My imagination is weird. So I do that a lot, and it gets to a point where like I'll do something really good from like the perspective of a manager or something that, well, they say it's really good. I don't really believe it. And they'll be like, oh, why don't you like present it? Why don't you like shout it out? Like do a LinkedIn post. I'm just like, that's a bit shit though. Like, but from their perspective, it's great. From my perspective, it's like, I know I could do better. Like, I know I could do so much better. This isn't like, I don't wow imaginary Sam. So why the hell am I like, why would I gas myself? That's just a lie. I'm not going to go and sit online. And it's been something that I think it's benefited me in doing more difficult things. However, I think it's made me go for shiny things that are difficult. So new things that are difficult that I can be like, well, that's a new experience. Now I've conquered that. And that's a new experience that I've conquered. Like learning a new code base or learning like how to build something, all these things. It's like, oh, now I've conquered that. That's a cool new topic. And I'm always like, I'm like a jack of all trade by master of none. Because I'm always picking up something new, getting okay with it, and I'll move on to another task. And to me, it's really difficult because I was never even good at any of this before. Now I can do it. And what that puts me in a position of is I devalue myself in my own head. So if someone's like, sell me this, I'll sell myself at a way lower rate, because in my head, it's not that impressive, whereas they can't even do any of it. And I've come to find that it also has an impact on how I view others, because if I ask someone to do something and they can't do it, I'm just there like, are you stupid? Like, it's not that like, like that. And then I'm just like, how the fuck did you get this job and I get paid half your wage? Like, what's going on? I realized it's like, hold on a minute, maybe I should ask for more for what I do.
It's made me laugh because I sent this clip to Deej the other day, and it's like when you talk to your bro who doesn't want to go to gym today, and it's like that clip from the movie Troy or Brad Pitt, and he just looks at it, it's like, that's why no one will remember your name. And I feel like that's how you look. That's generally people.
The fuck did you just say? What do you mean? Like, oh, I feel bad. I feel bad afterwards from just like, you're just such a dick, Sam. But then it really like, it does irks me, because in my head it's a really easy thing to do, and it only took me like 2 days to learn it. So why am I sat here 2 weeks later still explaining to you how to do it? And then it's just like, oh, maybe it's because like I've just gotten so comfortable. I've got so comfortable with like doing difficult things and learning fast just so I can say I'm good at something, that I've completely underestimated that for someone who isn't bothered about this, it's even harder for them. And someone whose life isn't based around just trying things because they like side quests, it's like, this isn't in the scope of things I need to care about, so I've not developed this skill. So to me, it's not that important. And in my head, I'm like, you're an idiot. How did you get paid this much money to do this job? Like, why are you still sat here when I literally have to turn your computer on for you? What are you doing? So yeah,
struggle. Have you ever watched? Have you seen Yes Theory on YouTube?
Yes. I have.
Yeah,
is it still going? I don't get. I
think it's still going. I haven't watched it in a while, but they're still going. And I love their mantra, which is seek discomfort. And this is like the first time I ever got exposed to that as an idea. And I remember like I I was in Mexico with work, and I was like just in my room, and I was like just watching so much.
Your work takes you to Mexico.
Former work, it was Spotify back in the day.
Oh, I was gonna say, never worked for a company that's taken me anywhere.
I remember just binging Yes Theory videos because it was just blowing my mind. And they have this thing where they basically like just, it's like obviously say yes, but they just talk to strangers and like it'll be like, oh, do you want to run a marathon like tomorrow? And then like one of them will like figure out how to do a marathon like in 3 days time with like no experience, or one's like, oh, and it's like they just do like this random shit and they talk to strangers a lot. They're like, oh, we're gonna try and host a party in the city, or something. They'll just do this random shit and they'll just put themselves in really, really uncomfortable scenarios and a deadline, and they just figure it out. And it's really, really sick because you're just like, there's no way you're gonna be able to do this, but they somehow do
stuff like that when we get
yeah, when you get the P up, we can definitely do that.
We should do something.
But yeah, I think they're a great channel, and there's a lot of bullshit on the internet, and yeah, I think what the guys do is sick. But
that's quite cool.
Yeah, man. I think, yeah, I hear what you're saying. You tend to disassociate and able to look at yourself as a fan, which I think is quite interesting. For me, I tend to focus on like when there's times where I don't want to particularly work out or anything like that, I focus on the result as opposed to the process. I tend to focus on how I will feel after having done the thing, because I had the evidence of, oh, well, last time when I did it, I felt great, so I should after I did it this time. Because if you focus on the process, which is the hard bit, it builds up that resistance of, oh, I want to avoid that discomfort.
Yeah.
But I also have this, I don't know, my motivations are very complex, but I think there's also a fear of like being in a regretful place. Because like if I don't work out, I know I'm going to look back when I go to bed at night and like the demons are going to be like, you didn't work out today. And I'm like, oh, I've kind of like wasted that opportunity. And then I feel shit about myself. Yeah. It's avoiding feeling shit about myself.
Yeah.
It's a mixture between the two, and just kind of, again, moving the needle towards like ideal Lewis. That's kind of what I kind of tend to think about now. And you know what I think is also going to be a major factor of motivations, and I think will be the same for you. It's like, and I saw this the other day as well, and I was like, that would piss me off. It's like when you have kids, and it's like you not going to the gym, and then like your kid's like judging you, or like your kids goes to school and it's like, oh, have you seen Max's dad?
Oh
Max's
my
dad,
God, Lewis!
Max's dad won the sports day sprint today, or like, you know, he's really strong and could do pull-ups. Like, why can't you do that, Dad?
Dad's legs.
Like that, I can't have my kid.
Oh my God!
Saying that.
I need to be my kid's hero.
I need, because the thing is,
I need to be the hero.
I can't have my kid be wrong when he says my dad could be up your dad.
Oh my God, facts.
Like,
oh my God.
I need the school to know that, you know,
a pride in my heart at school was knowing that my mum could mess up anyone's mum. And I was like, I was just like, my mum would have anyone.
I can't have my kid be wrong. I can't he's wrong. So I know when I have kids, I'm gonna make sure I'm the most in shape parent of all time.
I need to be turning up with everyone, mums, dads, and everyone. Just turn around and be like, "Who's that?" Like, that's I don't know.
Oh wow, is he 24? Nah, he's 38.
I was gonna give like a name for my son, but we're keeping that shit tight. That name's staying within the household until the child is born. But yeah, I just want to be that dad that just turns up and like the whole room pauses. And it's like, I need the other dads looking at me like, God, hi, Zeus. Who's that? I'm like, yeah, just sit there, boy, just sit there.
But I know that for me it's going to be a huge motivator, like, because I can't, you know, kids lead by example. Kids follow the example. I mean, so I can't be, you know, out of shape, lazy, eating shit, because, you know, my kids are going to see that.
Also, you just want your kids to be proud to be your kid.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, that's
Absolutely.
what you want. Like you just want it to look at you, be like, yeah, I don't want to be the dad that pulls up like three roads down so then they can walk to school on their own without people seeing me. Like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the embarrassment. I feel like that's at the end of the day, that's really it, isn't it? Especially when you're the fun dad, and I can see myself being the fun parent. You're
gonna make sure that you are, because
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, if your kid didn't start a fight but finished the fight, you're gonna have to tell off your son for fighting, but you're gonna like
be like, we're going for a
did you win?
Did you win though? Did you win? Just
because I can't have that shit.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like,
just fake the belt
again.
Fake,
just like
fake the belt sounds.
It was like,
yeah,
that's my boy. Well done. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, but
next time, knock him out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I'm getting older, and because I'm in a happy relationship, but I regularly. I know, but Sam's around the corner. It's around the corner, Sam.
God, it really is.
It is. It really is. So people like Sam with kids and houses, and they've been doing this stuff. So Sam is in our realm.
There's people from uni that are on like kid number 2, and I'm just like, I know you. I knew you from first year. You should not be allowed to have children.
Yeah, don't be a parent. You. Yeah, no, that's true.
Oh God.
It's true, though, but I feel like that's the thing. Like, well, our parents, people like, you shouldn't have a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I sometimes think about that, because I now just realize parents are just winging it. Like, they're just us, just older and winging it.
Do you think massive tangent? But do you ever like think back to when you meet your parents' friends and then they start telling stories about your parents when they were younger?
Yeah,
and you just look at your parents like, you ain't shit. You really ain't shit. Like, you've been making this all up.
Yeah,
you are a deviant.
Yeah. There was no parent Bible. You just been making this shit up.
Yeah, you just been waffling. Yeah, worse than me. I'm just there like, you know what? I'm not going to school tomorrow. We're not doing this. Like, I heard what you said. You've got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
But yeah, Nadia, yeah, I think I do regularly think about the whole, what would my kid think and all that sort of stuff. I know it's like hypothetical at the moment, but it's because like also because when I look back on my childhood, like I was always like, oh yeah, dad's like super in shape, and like we couldn't beat our dad in a sprint till he was like 50, and by that point it's not even a flex, because I'm 18 and I was like, yeah, I just beat my 50-year-old dad in a sprint, and it's like it's not even a flex at that point. So my dad and my mum were always like super in shape. So, and he was
when my dad just busted out like 30 push-ups in front of me once, and it just pissed me off.
Yeah,
that was the moment I started going gym. I saw that and I was like, the thing is, it's like
I'm almost glad that because my dad used to like just beat us in anything like physically.
Yeah,
I'm now glad, because actually, if you do beat your dad, like it's kind of sad, because you don't want to like be better at your dad. It's
a moment where you're like, oh, so should I go get you the wheelchair now? Or
it's like, oh, do you want to go to home?
Do you need help up the sir? So do you want to get tired? Do you want to go home early? You all right, sir? Like, oh God, yeah. It's when as soon as that happens, you start thinking about care home or granny flat down the garden. Like, which one do you stay in? Like, which one do we keep you in for the rest of your life?
But Dan, it's like it's a cool thing. But that's what I really think about, man. I'll
say, when you ask me like what motivated me, as well as like the inner thought of looking at myself. Part of that process is, remember when I used to go on all the time about like becoming a millionaire before 30 and 30 under 30, and every month that becomes less likely, and it makes me sad. But the main deadline in my head is, I know that with how I fixate on things, when we have a kid, it will all change, and that human will become like my core focus in life. Everything I do would be to like make that human the best, because that's my legacy. I'm not even bothered about what they want to do in life. You just need to like, the Grantson name must live on through you, my child. Like, you must keep going on, and like I have to make this I have to make this the kid that every government agency wants to take into Mars with them. Like, this is the next evolution of the human race. That's what my kid has to be. And in my head, I have to basically be in a position where I can devote all the time to give that human all the opportunity they need to become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
To do that, I would likely have to like stop messing around with all these like full-time work and obligations and stuff. I need to be in a financial position where my side quest could literally just be being a dad. Like the main job is being a dad. The side quest is being a dad, but the fun parts of being a dad. Like if I'm going to do a random show, do you want to come? Do you want to fly to Paris? What do you want to do this weekend? So, you want to hang out with your little friends? You want to go ride a bike, or do you want to come to Japan with dad? What do you want to do? Like,
I feel like
what I mean?
They're broody these past 2 weeks. I feel like we have about it. Yeah, we have.
It's because I want Alex and his baby have infected my brain.
Yeah.
We have a friend called Alex who's a dad now, and it annoys me because he's right. Now I'm broody, and I hate it when people are right when I told them they'll be wrong. And he was all like, "Oh, it's gonna make you broody," and now all I want is a child, and Sarah won't give me one, and I'm sad.
But a son.
Get me a human. But she's pretty knowledgeable and wise. We do have a wedding coming up and a lot of expenses, and it'll be terrible.
Yeah,
everyone who says that is usually like a ticking time bomb until, oh, I'm pregnant. It's like, I didn't plan this well, did we?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, baby pod episode is gonna be in a couple of years time.
It's
gonna be a couple of years time.
It is. I'm gonna be like talking, you're just gonna hear crying in the background. Or you're gonna hear if it's my kid, you're just gonna see like toys fly at my face mid call. Just happening in the background. I'm like, he also has ADHD. It's like he is equally.
He just cloned one.
Yeah, I just
cloned yourself.
He's way worse. He's way worse than I ever was. But yeah, no, I look forward to our future. I know we did that recording of like when we want to be in episode 100. I'm looking forward to listening to that. Well, go on.
So it was really funny. Yesterday Rose was at mine and I was editing it, and obviously I said to the point where, hopefully by episode 100 we're engaged or I'm going to propose.
Oh.
And she just heard engaged propose like through my headphones, and she went, what was that? What did I just overhear? That one. She just said nothing for about an hour and a half, and I was like, listen,
they are fine-tuned.
She was like, you just like, she said nothing when I was editing, just next to me, and then like through my headphones she just said, what did I just say? Like something in the ethos just spoke to her. She was like, did I just hear engaged propose? What do you say? I was like, relax.
Did I tell you about one of the ways Sarah was clued in about about my plan to propose?
No.
Other than the fact that I kept sneaking off. If anything, what I was doing was evidence of cheating in every other storyline. Like, if she didn't trust me, she would be like, "Why do you keep running?"
Okay, we'll wrap up. Explain the proposal, Sam.
Okay, so what, the whole proposal? I've already done the proposal story, I'm sure, haven't I?
I don't think you did.
I don't remember. I will do the proposals. I will do the proposal story again because I love this story.
Tell the story.
So how she was clued in, firstly, was I've been talking to my manager about it, like, oh, this is what I plan on doing, and I never told no one up until I'd asked Sarah. No one knew exactly how I planned on doing it. It was all in my head. Not even my mom. My mom knew I was going to propose, but she didn't even know like how I was going to do it. No one. It was all just me, just turning it into chaos. And I basically told my manager about how like, oh, I'm thinking about doing it Mykonos, maybe on like this spot. Basically, I'd written like very vague things, but by the time like it got to the bit where I was talking about it, there was no connection because we were talking about work. And I was like, oh, I might actually do this with her. And like, that's all the sentence said. Sarah read that and she was like, yeah, at that point I knew you were going to propose on a holiday. Because she came and sat on my lap and she read that one sentence that in every other situation, it could literally be I'm taking her for lunch. Like, it could be anything. She's like, I read that and I knew for sure. Like, and then I asked her her logical path, and she pieced it together like a Sherlock Holmes flashback. And I was just sat there like, you cannot be trusted. You cannot be trusted with anything. I can't lie or surprise you with anything. So the proposal story, I feel like I've definitely told this. So basically, me and Sarah booked a holiday to go to Mykonos for about a week or so, and I basically asked her to give me a day, because every time we go on holiday, she plans everything, and it gets really annoying sometimes because there's a lot of walking, a lot of bloody tours and staring at stuff that are very Instagrammable. But then in real life, I'm just tired.
That's actually like facts. Because I think your holidays, and it's just Instagram.
It's this Instagram pictures, and I'm like, well, you realise I have to walk between every single picture. And we're out some places for like 3-4 hours and my feet hurt. I'm basically a toddler and she's just there. Like, she'll buy me snacks and stuff, but that doesn't stop me getting tired and bored. And like, yeah, so I was basically like, can I just have one day where I can just choose what we get to do? And I basically packed like 1 week's worth of holiday into that day. So I rented a car, I did everything. And before we even left, like, I had the ring designed. I designed the ring myself. I was having loads of issues with the jeweler. Like I asked them to make the prongs white gold and the main ring gold, and then they had to get a weird machine to do it apparently. Long story short, they sent me the design, everything was gold. I told them, hey, this bit has to be white gold. Will the designers know this? He's like, yeah, I've written it down that bit has to be white gold. I was like, I've worked in the design industry. They will do what they see, not what they read. They just make it gold. And he was like, no. Went to pick up the ring. It was all gold. Got angry, came back, couldn't explain it to anyone because if I explain it to the one person I live with, she will know that I'm about to propose. So I'm just there throwing a hissy fit and she just thinks I'm being a man-child. And no one understands why I'm upset. So then I handed it back and we had loads of back and forths. And then in between them fixing it, diamond prices literally went up. And because I hadn't paid for it properly yet, the price increased during their cock-up scenarios. So I'm just there like, are you kidding me? Like, and he was like, yeah, diamond prices go up all the time. I was like, you're charging me more money because you messed up. So then all of this was happening. I was basically beefing jewelry people in my car and then putting a smile on my face and walking into the house. So eventually it got sorted. It got sorted a few weeks before the holiday and I had to like hide it in the house and all these things. We get on the plane and in my man bag, and I never wear a man bag. Like I hate wearing I think people who wear man bags look weird. And I only wear it if I'm going on like a costume party, like a bar crawl or something. That's when I have like a little man. I basically spent the whole of that second day, up until I proposed, I spent every day with that ring literally attached to my chest. I was like, if I lose it, I could not live it down. Yeah. And I could tell she was just like, you're just being weird now. Like, what the fuck is going on? And every now and then I'll like open it and be like, yep, it's still there. Yep, it's still there. Close it out.
Okay, right. You said every now and then. I know that was every 10 seconds for you.
Every 10 seconds, Lewis.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I closed it, it was like Schrodinger's cat. As soon as I closed that man bag, the ring was gone. It was stolen. It was stolen by every person I walked past me. So every time I closed, I was like, I'll check again. Anyway, so eventually I booked a whole day. I used Google Map, and I used Google Map, an Excel sheet, similar to what I did for the birthday, actually. I used the same actual plan. So I basically plotted a place for every single letter of Will You Marry Me? And that's in Mykonos. I basically plotted it into an Excel sheet. And I basically like Googled all the places in Mykonos and I found all the coordinates. So I got an Excel sheet, poured the coordinates in there, grabbed the coordinates, put it onto Google Maps, and it drew like a journey around the Mykonos island to all these places, including like the only like proper vegan restaurant on the whole bloody island, which was literally the other side of it. So I had to hire a car. I hired an Audi A3, and that was meant to be the A in marry, because most of the other letters, like most of the other letters repeat on themselves. Right? Yeah. I had like, I was one of them. Why did I have a U in there for some reason? Am I being an idiot? You from the U. I'm stupid.
Yeah, you from you.
So Umbrella was one of them. Anyway, so like it got to a point where I had to like just grab what I could get from this island because not everything represented the letters, and then I didn't want to be lazy and repeat pictures and all these things. So I was like, okay, for this day, this is my trip, and I tried to like do something like spell that day. Obviously, we ran out of time, so like, it turned out they it turns out they have traffic in Mykonos. It got to a point when Lewis was doing like 20 minutes on a beach and then going to the next beach. Like we were like we're beach hopping and everything. And then I could tell she was just like, can I just sit and relax? I'm like, no, we got to get to this place. Like, this is my day. We're doing it my way, my day. Let's go. And I'll just be the brat. And then she did her nails, which was my first clue that she knew what was happening that day. And I felt so brave the whole day. The whole day I was just enjoying, like, it was my day. I got to pick the restaurants we went to. And all the restaurants I picked, she liked, because I always checked the food to make sure that they had like celiac stuff and all these. Wait, did she know she was celiac by then? I don't know. But they're all like vegetarian, they're all nice foods, all this stuff. So I checked everything. And we got, and then before like we carried on, I remember I went to the hotel and I basically asked them like, can you help me prepare because I'm going to propose to my girlfriend? And then all the girls, they were like, Gaz. I was like, perfect. I have assistants. These people just want to be a part of our dream. So I'm going to use you. So this hotel is like, it's quite a few stars. And it's kind of, their rule is like, if we don't have it, we'll go out and buy it for you. And you just
say the stars, Sam, but the people know.
It's like 4.5, you know. It wasn't 5, but it was 4.5.
Okay.
It's 4.5. It was
that's good.
Mykonos, 4.5 is like London 6. So yeah, like, I'll take it. Like there was a footballer that stayed at the hotel.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. So yeah, not just any for Liverpool, like professional Premier. Not that I know who the fuck they were. Someone just saw them in the background of my picture and just went, do you know who you sat next to? I'm just like, huh? And then it's like, oh, he's actually a football player. Anyway, so I went and told them, and they were basically like, I was like, can I have like the whole room done up? And then the girls were like, oh, this is what we can do, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, we can like put roses all in the bed, heart shaped. And I was just like, right. It's like, have you got roses? Like, do you just have roses just around? She's like, no, we can go and buy it from like another island, have it brought over, and you can just pay us. So in my head, I was like, that's going to be expensive, but we're here now. Credit card ready. Let's go. So I said yes, reluctantly. It actually wasn't that expensive. It was like 100 and something euros. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay. I just know roses
wasn't that bad.
Fucking ridiculous around Valentine's Day.
And over there as well, they're just going to mark it up. But they were just, I feel like it cost more, but because they couldn't upgrade the room we were in, they basically just tried their best to make everything else cheaper for us.
Right.
So we had like champagne. Sarah doesn't drink champagne. I do, but I still said yes to it because I wanted. So we got all of that. So the room was being set up whilst we were gallivanting around, and he basically told us like, call us if all goes well, and then we can set up the room for you. So I was like, okay, cool. So in my head, I've got to do certain things, then call them. So there was a lot going on in my head at the time. As we're getting to our destination, I decided to do it at the Lighthouse because I talked to one of the people in the hotel, and then he was like, don't do it at the windmills. It's a very busy area. She doesn't like public proposals. Like, she hates the idea of public proposals. He was like, do it at the Lighthouse. I was like, what do you mean? And he showed me the picture. Literally, like, the Lighthouse was one of the stops, but it was like the L in Will, not like the end stop for all of it. So I was like, okay, sorted. We'll go to the Lighthouse. And Lewis, it was almost everything we would want in our proposals. Like, I looked at it in the pictures and I was just like, yeah, this is the one. Like, it's a cliff that overlooks the ocean, and you can see the sunset into the ocean, and it was just beautiful. And in the background, you've obviously got the Lighthouse. So we pull up in what wasn't an Audi, but a Mini Cooper, because the rental company fucked me over. So I got a Mini Cooper, but I had to pay the same price as an Audi A3.
Well, that's the M.
You know, it was. Apart from it being Mykonos Island, the M was the Mini Cooper, and I just to be honest, I gave up on the whole letter thing in the end. I had the whole idea, and I gave up on it.
That is wild.
That was I did it. I overdid it. So and then so I'm kind of going back and forth from the story, but here's the cool part. So we get to the Lighthouse, and that's when the nerves kicked in. As soon as like I parked the car, I was just like, oh shit. Like, this is it. And you know what's more annoying than being nervous about something? Being nervous about something you did to yourself. Like, it's not even like I had to present to the whole class because it was my homework. This is all my choice. And until I do it, no one will know it's happening. Like, I could just stop now. Also, I'm committed to it now. And then in my head, the back of my head, all I'm thinking is, if I go back to this hotel and I did not tell them that we're on our way and we're engaged, I've got to spend a week in this building with these people thinking I'm a bitch. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. So I was just like, I've got to go through with this. And then obviously, because I love Sarah. So I was like, obviously that was the only reason.
You held yourself hostage.
I put myself in a situation where I couldn't say no. So we got there, and I was like, oh, let's take pictures because Sarah loves her pictures. And I was like, okay, you do me. And she took pictures of me from behind, and I was like, okay, I'll do you. Like, you look into the sunset, you look into the ocean. And the main thing I've missed about all of this is when we pulled up, there was a party at the Lighthouse. So this whole like picturesque image ruined. So we had to find like the corner of it where like no one could really see me. And I was taking, and then she was like, "Why don't we go to the edge?" I was like, "No, like let's do it here." Where it's like, so obviously alarm bells are just like, "The fuck are you up? What are you up to?" Like, she was just like, "What are you being an idiot for?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm scared of heights," which I'm scared of heights. So like, she kind of took that for a little bit. That works for a little bit. And then we took the pictures on the side bit. So she turns around, faces the sunset, and this is why I keep stumbling because this is the bit I'm excited to tell. Like, I go to take the ring out, and I forgot to take the label off the ring, and we're literally like, we're on top of a cliff top at the seaside, and all you've got is wind. There's a windmill there there's like a lighthouse, but there's like windmills on this fucking island for a reason. It's windy as fuck in Mykonos sometimes. So I open it, and the label basically acted like a sail. The wind just picks up the ring, and literally as I'm holding the camera and the ring is facing Sarah, I just watch it float out of the box. And I just watch it float and disappear out of my line of sight. And then I'm just there on my knees like, what the fuck? So in my head, I was just like, at least it's insured. I just closed the box. I closed the box, put it in my pocket, just gave up. I was like, I'm going to take the pictures and cry about it later and call the insurance company. And as I was like in the process of doing all of that, I heard like a ting noise. I was just like, hold on, let's hope. So whilst Sarah's still facing this way, she's like, I was like, no, turn around, I'll go get more pictures. I'm literally there on the floor, like, dust in my hands, trying to find the damn ring, because there's just like bushes everywhere. Eventually found it. She turns around, I forgot my speech. I forgot everything. It's the most chaotic proposal known to man, but it's also the best thing ever, because it's such a unique, like, I over-planned it and it ended up being one of the most unique moments of my life, because it all went wrong. Like, it all went so wrong, but so right at the same time. And I remember just looking at her, she just looked at me, and like, she just looked at me like, well, what the fuck are you going to say? Like, just like, will you marry me? And like, the worst part is, as she was just like, yeah, this girl just basically just screamed, this American. I'm like, you're ruining everybody. She looked at her like, you shut the fuck up. Like, it's all gone wrong enough. Like, it was not meant to be public. This was meant to be peaceful. It was meant to be well planned, and it's all gone to shit. The least the universe could give me is a private fucking proposal. And it's going, I can see her mate just grab her. And I'm just there like, thank you. Just thank you. So, and then they're like really excited, and then they started to like taking our pictures and stuff. They were American girls, so like, they just loved our British accents. And they loved that we were engaged. It was really nice. And then, yeah, I think she started like trauma dumping about how she hopes her man proposes. At that point, I was just like, just give me
fuck off.
I was just like, just give my phone.
It's all about you.
It's all about you.
With your lonely ass.
Exactly. Give me the phone and go away. I hope, to be fair, if she does see me though, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you're engaged too. I take it back.
Don't give a fuck.
No, genuinely though. She was really nice. But yeah, I heard trauma dumping was really my moment. I could tell her friend just being like, oh, okay, shut the fuck up. It's not your date. But like, yeah, so that was
very
the
cute
proposal story. That was it.
Cute. No, you never said that on the pod. I've never heard that story before.
Yeah, you're right. I've not gone into detail, actually. But yeah,
you probably tried to episode 4, but you sound like you're underwater, so no one can even hear you.
Yeah, true, actually.
So
that's the only time I went to the hotel, and then I remember. I remember the speech when I was in the shower. But then I was drinking champagne in the shower, so I was just there popping bottles and just like saying the speech out loud, and Sarah was just sat in the bed like, "You're such an idiot." Yeah. It's like, yeah, but look at me now, engaged. It's gassed. This is a perfect way we should come in and show the ring, because I was pretty proud of my design. Pretty proud. Yeah.
Man, the ring's nice, actually. I remember it off the top of my head.
You know what? I'm proud of it, and I was really nice that everyone said it was nice. And it got to a point where everyone's like, wait, you designed it yourself? And I'm like, the fuck is that meant to mean? I did a lot of research. I do design. I did product design, you know. But like, yeah, anyway, it's not about that. It's not about that stuff. It's about you're engaged now. Wedding next year, June. Let's go. Oh, I'm going to someone's stag do in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to stag do in Vegas. I'm going to stag do in Vegas a week after my 2 days after we get back from our honeymoon.
Oh, that's not nice. That's actually the worst time. That's
actually shit. Literally, we come back from our honeymoon. I sit still for 2 or 3 days. I'm in Vegas.
Okay.
I didn't realize that, so I've got a lot of groveling to do. Sarah was pretty cool about it.
So there's going to be a lot of solo episodes there. We're going to have to schedule that.
Yeah, I've just. But you selfish bastard. I realized that as well. You're just there like he's coming back just to fuck off again. I have to record on my own. I was thinking more like Sarah's going to be on her own after like we get back from our honeymoon. And she's going to be all like in a bubble by herself.
How long's the honeymoon? What, 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Bali.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, gonna go for a while, enjoying my life. But yeah, we got to plan my stag do soon as well. Fuck, at some point.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it to someone to do it. That's not a groom's job. My job's to turn up and be happy that I'm giving away the bachelor lifestyle. That's my job. My job is just to sit back and have everyone go, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, yes, I am. I am willing to risk 50% of my hard work for this.
Yes. Or 50% of the podcast, though.
No. Prenup. I'm joking. Yeah, sure.
Oh man, no, that's good, man. That's very cute. So I've never heard the proposal story. That's actually very sweet.
Oh yeah, I didn't know I've got that detail.
No, that's the most you proposal that could ever.
It really is. I told my manager that, and she was just like, "That would only happen to you."
Yeah, that would only happen.
Literally, it only happen to me.
I'm not gonna chat too much shit because I'll probably do something very similar.
I hope it's just as chaotic because Lewis. It makes for the most enjoyable
the thing
story
is,
to tell.
Rosie is going to know because
they're psychic.
Yeah, no,
they're psychic.
She knows me. She knows me too well. She will know.
Yeah,
she will know when I bought the ring like a year prior. Like I know, she will know.
You know what upsets me? She knew it was coming, and I don't think anything changed in the treats I got. no extra meals were cooked for me.
Well, why would she? You got to buy it anyway.
Not? I'm about to do something epic.
Yeah, it's yeah, they just know.
It doesn't. They just know. They know us too well. I guess it's a sign.
Yeah,
but yeah. I'm excited for the day you put the question. I'm excited.
That's
yeah. And Rosie, I don't know what that day is. Do not come to me for clues. There's a reason I don't get trusted with these informations. Okay, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just excited as you are for that day.
Yeah, you know what's actually weird? When I texted you when you were in Mykonos, and I was like, I texted you and I was like, something's weird. I was like, I think he's going to propose soon. And then you literally posted your post the next day, and I was like, I fucking knew it. And I was like, I did
like a soft launch for it in soft launch. When we went to Paris, I did like this very like cheesy like zoom out from like the padlocks to the Eiffel Tower. And I was like, I'm going to post this and I'm going to wonder how her friends react to this video. And the general reaction is they're angry it wasn't a proposal video. Now just like test complete. I've been accepted as the husband in the group. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just sensed that you were up to some shit, because I was like, you're a bit too happy to reply to me. I was like, and also you replied quickly, and I was like, this is, I was like, this is.
There were a lot of messages, to be fair. There were
I was like,
a lot of messages.
I think that you will. I
feel like I'll know.
You will know. You will know.
Yeah.
Because you talked to me. Because I remember we had this conversation the other day. You were like, "Yeah, I'll let you know about all the design and like the process." And the process is shit.
It's Lewis. Honestly, I think I just got typical Sam Luck on this. That's why I'm shit.
I'll just go Harris.
I just got typical Sam Luck. Honestly, just go to the Asian guy with the beard and all the gold on his fingers. He knows his stuff. Do not do what I did. But I will say, the guy I had, Matthew, Austin and Blake, amazing. I'm gonna give him a shout out. This isn't even a paid promotion. He was just a legend. Like me and him were like this through the whole thing. We had our moments where we argued. It wasn't, well, he didn't argue with me. I just shouted at him. But like we had our moments. And you know what? Like he was just like, Sam, I appreciate how calm and patient you've been. And I was like, I've not been calm or patient.
You've been calm or patient.
I've not been calm or patient. The only reason I've not shouted is if I shout, Sarah will know. So I've just been like very aggressive. Like very like passive aggressive with him the whole time. But like me and him have really had a bond, and I can't wait to get my wedding ring from him as well.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. I was saying to Rosie, because the thing is, like once I go over 30, like Rosie and I were together for a good few years at that point. It would be like 4 years. No, 3 or 4 years. Either way, like every holiday I have to do like super romantic holidays. I would take on like 3 just to get a full sense of like, oh, you might propose this holiday. Because if I just go, we're doing all these like random like, okay holidays, and all of a sudden it's, oh, we're going to go to Bali or Maldives. But, so, and then she's going to know. So I'm going to have to gaslight her with really expensive trips and not propose. But Rose on the bed and do nothing. That's all.
The one thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Keep it simple. Like, I do think like it would have been more. It's a cool story for me to be able to tell because of how chaotic and funny it is.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would have been even as or more magical if I just kept it simple and like still fly out to somewhere, but just that proposal be the action. None of this like flaffy driving.
Yeah, you're trying to do a fucking treasure map or whatever.
Yeah, basically did like a treasure hunt.
You did some Da Vinci Code, follow the chord. Yeah,
I was like engineering it, which is too much. And like my man was literally like, Sam, you always do stuff like this. Like you just make it so hard.
I think there was no obstacles in the way, and you were like, how can I make this the most
difficult thing ever? But once again, it's so I can look at myself in my imaginary team's core and just go, that was pretty epic. That was pretty cool.
I feel like you need to do like half of that, but oh well, man, it's all good.
We're done.
Got the result in the end.
We win. We win.
On that note, we'll wrap up. So guys, if you enjoyed the episode, give us a like, subscribe, share your friends.
Hard stuff. Grow your AMCC. What's it called?
Anterior mid cingulate cortex. The AMCC.
AMCC.
Words are hard.
They are so hard.
Okay.
They are hard.
Okay. But you tried. You tried. And it's going to grow because you're going to try and say It's okay.
It just makes it so much
Sorry.
bigger for me.
Rate us 5 stars. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, email, accessexpert.com.
Follow the Spotify. Follow the Spotify.
Oh, yeah, follow us on Spotify as well.
Do that
or wherever you listen. And
share it on your stories, please, guys.
Share your stories as well.
Yeah, just share this one, like this moment right now.
Repost the TikToks. Do all that.
And that too. Like, let people know
because we're doing this. We're doing this shit for free, man.
Exactly.
Honestly. This is costing us money.
It's
much hard work. Costing us money, and we're doing this shit midweek.
It's just so much hard work, and I know it's near the end now, and you could probably skip this moment of us groveling for your attention, love, affection, and you telling everyone that you rate us. But please do that because I depend on it for my self-worth. Thank you.
Yeah. Sam needs to impress his imaginary personality.
I do.
So
I
do it.
All of them.
Do it for me because I then have to deal with them as well. So, all right. See you guys next week.
See you guys.
Bye.